But what the marketing pulpit is about is strategy. Use social media and stop letting it use you. That's one thing about a business. It's an equalizer. It's a game changer. We have to think like the successful companies. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Of course, I may save a soul along the way, but don't hold it against me. That's my dad's former occupation. He was a Baptist minister, but I'm in a different profession. My goal is to save businesses, save our community. And we do that through business development, building successful businesses in our community. That's my goal. That's my purpose. That's my raison d'etre, my reason for being. And that's why every Friday at 10:30 a.m., I come to you on these airwaves, trying to get a message out here that we can make our community better, viable, more sustainable, if we get serious about the business of building our businesses. No, we don't have to go into other communities with our hands out, looking for a bone. And that's really what it boils down to. We don't want to be a community of beggars, not as talented as we are, as gifted as we are. So anyway, my goal is to channel these resources to make sure we understand, first of all, that we have the wherewithal to do it, and then to instruct you in the area of business development, how to create successful businesses. Do I have all the answers? Nope. I'm learning right along with you. But I have been out here for a minute. I have a company called Gatewood Marketing and Web, and I've been at that now for the past almost 30 years. I've been an instructor, still an instructor right now at Prince George's Community College, where I teach marketing, teach networking, social media strategies. I'm a contractor, subcontract with the Small Business Administration, helping companies in the 8A space. I have written a couple of books on the topics of marketing, Played in Full, and Smarter Than the Boss. So yeah, I've done this for a minute. Like the young folks say, got some receipts. But that's not to brag, that's to let you know that I take this seriously. I want you to be successful. And many of us, we missed the boat of becoming an engineer or a doctor or an attorney. But man, let me tell you something. Business ownership is available to all. You don't have to have a fancy degree. You don't have to go to a 8-year college. All you need is the will, the desire, and some instruction. And that's what I do. Now, everybody's not built for business ownership. I'm just going to tell you. Some people just stay on that 9-to-5 job. And that's not to knock it. I'm just saying that sometimes we have to do what we do. Anyway, we got an exciting show lined up today. I'm Robert Gatewood, and go to marketingpulpit.com. You can find out more about the show and what we do. You can find out more about my company, also Gatewood Marketing and Web, by going to gatewoodmarketing.com. And we're on social media. Go to Facebook, go to YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and you can follow this show live. And you can always go to marketingpulpit.com and get the latest on what we're doing. And you can watch the show right there on the homepage. So thank you again for tuning in. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome. I'll say welcome, cheers. And if you're a regular follower, thank you for supporting the show and making our show a success and supporting our sponsors and people who have been listeners and followers and supporting the show in various ways. This is a mission for me. This is a cause, a purpose. I'm not sitting up here to make money. Sometimes I do it anyway. I try to. People see me sit up here and they want me to do work for them. Not taking clients this minute. We can do some of the web job, things like that. But right now, our marketing plate is full. But maybe by September, we'll start uh, bringing on clients again. But if you're interested, just give us a call, send us an email. We'll put you on our waiting list, and we'll make sure that we get you into that success fast lane. But it's not fast. I don't want to use the word fast because success is not fast. It's a process, and I think that's a mistake many people make. They think that success happens overnight when indeed it does not. Matter of fact, the opposite is true. Later in the show, we're going to talk about customer service. We're going to talk about, reminds me of that parable, that show, The Wizard of Oz, where Dorothy over there in Kansas, and she's dealing with lions and 10 men and cowardly lions, 10 men, scarecrows, and munchkins, and witches of all different types, trying to find her way back to Kansas. When indeed she had the answer all along. Well, to many of us, that Kansas, metaphorically speaking, is business success. And so instead of engaging in all of this motley crew of characters of 10 men and lions and cowardly lions, sometimes we have our answer right at our fingertips or at our toe tips or heel tips. Sometimes we just need to click our heels, and we find that marketing success is right there with us. And what I found out, one of the secret sauces of marketing success has been service, customer service. So we're going to talk about that later in the show. We're also going to talk about some of the items that are happening in the news. Man, and there are many. We got Ball of Bishops. We got the ride share sagas continue. We have the unfriendly skies. So you don't want to miss that. So we're going to be talking about some of the items in the news coming up later in the show. We also invite you to, as you listen to the items in the news, if you see something you'd like to opine on or add your voice to the discussion, then we have a way to do that as well. You can go to marketingpulpit.com and you'll see a method for getting onto the show where you can voice your opinion as well as promote your upcoming event or product, or if you have a book you want to promote, then we are a vehicle for that. So once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We are the Marketing Pulpit, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. Let's see what else is going on. We're going to talk about, as I was driving to work the other day, I heard somebody use this expression. What do they call it? Penny wise, pound foolish. That's an expression that people throw around, and I like to kind of break down some of these expressions and kind of give you the meaning behind them and add my own context. And today is no exception. And I would say the phrase, don't be penny wise and pound foolish. I think that's pretty sagacious advice. It's not bad advice at all. But we do need to understand what it means. Penny wise and pound foolish. We think about why are you comparing a penny to a pound? One is money, currency, and the other is a measurement of weight. Well, actually, the phrase goes back to it's British currency when they're using penny wise and pound foolish. We're talking about a penny or pence, and then you're talking about a pound, which is actually British currency, similar to the dollar. So when you say penny wise, pound foolish, it could be really taken literally to say penny wise and dollar foolish. But the bottom line is that sometimes people they take issue with people who are stingy on small items, but not so with more expensive or luxury items. That's one way to look at it. Somebody who might drive a who might be clipping coupons, and then they turn around and jump into a luxury car and eat at the finest restaurants. Some people call that penny wise and pound foolish. But another way to look at it is the people who take they spend with short-term objectives and think they're saving, when in long term, what they're spending these small amounts on may end up costing them more over the long term. That's the more applicable use of the term penny wise and pound foolish. Some examples you might think of, let's say in the government space, where you might go out and cut out social programs, thinking you're saving money. People have to write these budgets every year. So they're looking for items to cut out of the budget. So they might cut out social programs or might get rid of the basketball courts in the neighborhood that the young people might play in and during the summer. Well, that's a penny wise and pound foolish move, because when you cut out those services, those young people they don't have activities to engage in during the summer, and they go out and they get into mischief. They go out and start, hijacking cars and robbing people, and sometimes engaging in illicit activities like drug dealing. So that's a penny wise, pound foolish move. Okay. Other types of examples might be personal, like you go out and buy inferior products, thinking you're saving money, when indeed that product might last, 1/10 of the time of a similar item that you might spend maybe twice as much money for, but it's going to last 10 times longer. So you might call that being wise. You're spending wisely. Sometimes you go to the grocery store and you buy the smallest item because you say, I'm saving money. Now, sometimes you don't have the money to buy the larger size, but that penny wise may be pound foolish, because now you have to keep going back to the grocery store, spending more money on gas. You're spending more per ounce, per unit cost. Another example, sometimes renting versus buying. You go out and say, look, I'm not going to put that big money. I'm not going to put down $20,000, or when I can rent, you put down, a couple of $100 and then rent. Well, like I said, sometimes people don't have the means or the wherewithal to invest, but many people do. They're just taking that being penny wise and pound foolish. And when we say foolish, we're speaking rhetorically, we're not calling anybody a fool. Eating fast food versus eating healthy. Well, I'm going to go to the dollar menu every week and spend only, a couple of dollars a day on lunch. Well, indeed, you're going to pay for it in the end. You're going to unhealthy, clogged arteries, high blood pressure, all kind of health issues might happen down the road, because you may save money on the front end, but you end up spending more money overall in health. And then let's look at it from a business standpoint. Businesses that's one of the areas where that's like my main area, but businesses sometimes can be notorious for being penny wise and pound foolish. Underpaying your staff, classic example. You think you're getting a good deal by sometimes hiring people who are not qualified, or underpaying the ones that you do hire. You say, look, I'm gonna bring in this person and work them like a slave and pay them minimum wage or just above minimum wage. That's being penny wise and pound foolish, because you're not going to get the loyalty and you're not going to get the best staff. Good examples of being penny wise and pound foolish. You can offer inferior products to your clients. Another example, being penny wise and pound foolish. They're going to eventually turn on you. They're not going to come back. You're not going to get loyalty. So you can't just give people inferior products thinking you're saving money when you're being penny wise and pound foolish. And some people get into this thing about negotiating with their vendors and suppliers. They say, man, I told him I got the best price. I told him I wasn't paying that. So you're not paying the people, your stakeholders, who are a pivotal part of your success. So you get into this I always have to get the best price. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm going to speak to you from experience that you have to be fair with people. You might get the best price, but sometimes you're winning the battle, but losing the war. They're going to get you in other ways. Sometimes they may not answer your call when you need them. They may not give you the best deals. They may not bring your services to you faster. They may put somebody else ahead of you because they know that you're a difficult client. So you're being penny wise and pound foolish. And the same thing goes with customer service. Now we're going to spend more time on customer service this evening, matter of fact, today, because my sermon for today is about customer service. That you may be missing out on one of the most easily attainable roads to success by not putting the right amount of energy and resources in customer service. That's a classic example of being penny wise and pound foolish. So today we're going to spend some time, and I'm just going to speak to you really from the heart. I've been in this business for a long time. I've had several businesses. I've had payphone businesses, home delivery business. We were the first home delivery Uber Eats type of business way before Grubhub and Instacart. We had home delivery restaurants, home delivery grocery stores. So I've done most of the businesses, almost every type of business out here. And the secret to success, no matter what anybody tells you, it lies in service. So we're going to talk about service. I'm not going to give you a whole course in customer service today, but I'm going to give you some food to chew on, some things to think about as you try to find your way to business success. Sometimes it's right under your nose. You're out here looking for this Wizard of Oz, some marketing wizard, and you have the answer right there in front of you. Sometimes you just need to click those heels together, and that'll take you home to business success. And what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. We're talking about being penny wise and pound foolish. And before we go to break, just going to give you a couple of parting thoughts. How do you deal with this being penny wise and pound foolish? Well, first of all, I would just slow down and think before you spend. Spend wisely. Sometimes you have to realign your spending habits, and you may be spending money on things that's really not really going to really pay off for you. So you want to kind of think about the long-term ramifications, pro or con, on some of the things you're spending your money on. Sometimes we get something that the price is low. We think we're getting a bargain when in actuality sometimes it subjugates you to scams, and sometimes there's marketing trickery involved. So don't always jump on the lowest price thinking you're winning in the end. You may be, like I said, being penny wise and pound foolish. And also you have to remember also, and this is another cliche, sometimes you have to spend money to make money, or even to hang on to the money you have. So don't get caught up into this free, lowest price. And sometimes it's a smoke screen. And so it's definitely not spending. You're not being penny wise, and you're being penny wise and pound foolish. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I see people are tuning in here. See people on Facebook. I see people on YouTube tuning in. See some of my regular folks here. Attorney Bradley Thomas. Thank you, Attorney Thomas, for tuning in this morning. And he said he's always glad to hear the good marketing gospel, and we're always glad to have you joining us, Attorney Bradley Thomas. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk about some items in the news, and also go to marketingpulpit.com and check out if you want to join in the conversation, we'd be glad to have you to join us put you on the mic right here next to me this morning. And we'll talk about some of these items that's on people's minds. And we've opened up this platform now to be more inclusive so that we can hear what you're thinking. What is on your mind? What is it you want to talk about? And so I'm going to get the conversation going by some of the items that are in the news. And then we'll give you a chance to come on and speak your mind. And while you're at it, go ahead and tell us what you're doing. Tell us about your business. Tell us about your book. Tell us about your service. Tell us about your product that you're offering. And we'll be glad to let our many listeners find out more about you. So hang on for a second. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood. We'll be back in just a moment. Every week we talk about some of the hot. every week. We talk about some of the hot items in the news. And then you, as a listener, have an opportunity to come on camera and give your point of view. And afterwards, you can talk about your organization, your book you're trying to sell, your event.
I just really want to encourage people to get their things organized and document.
Seeing it from all facets, where you have parents who are involved in their child's life, but still things happen.
Find out a lot of things about social media. It can help you, and it also can harm you.
When we don't see our children learning, we see our children in the street, they're going to learn from something. So it's best that they learn from us.
What do you want to promote today?
Today I want to promote me and another partner in comedy. We decided to collaborate. I'll collaborate.
Welcome back to the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. Not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. It's a tall task, but I'm up to it because I know I have your help. One thing we need to do is get this information in people's ear holes. That Parliament Funkadelic. We sing this song, I promise to be good to your ear hole. I'm going to give you what you're here for. I'm not a singer, as you can see or hear, but I promise to be good to your ear hole. Hey, what can I say? Hey, let's talk about what's happening in the news. Also, go to marketingpulpit.com to find out more about what's happening on the show. If you go to YouTube, we have a sectioning off. We have playlists where you can listen to a lot of Marketing Pulpit. You can listen to a whole show. You can listen to a 1 minute marketing minute, a series of those. You can listen to the marketing sermon. You can listen to the news. So we got it sectioned off so you don't have to, if you're short on time or sometimes you just have all the time in the world, just turn on the playlist. You can listen to the last 20 shows. People do that sometimes when they're driving down the road and they just want to get this information. Telling folks, we're making this a lot harder than it needs to be. I'm giving you the answers to the test. Just call life, call the business world. Let's call life a big test out here. And if you're trying to succeed in business and then you need to take a test, I'm giving you the answers. I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm telling you, I've been down this road many times. Don't let this countenance fool you. I got some gray hairs up here. My hairline used to be right here, but over the years, all these trials and tribulations in business, and I had to go to school and worked in corporate America. I've started several businesses, not even to mention thousands of clients I have worked with in the past and continue to do so on a daily basis. So if you want to if you want to invest your time in something that's going to pay off, then tuning into this show and sharing it with others is really a good investment. There are a lot of folks out here that do what I do. None of them really do exactly the way I do it. Okay, there's some people out here, they're more into the rah-rah and the motivation. They want to get a lot of folks in a room and stand up on chairs and talk to each other, and that's good too. That's what they do. There are other groups, people that they want to sell you the fastest, the newest and shiniest gadget, and I'm not knocking them. That's what they do. But my approach is to educate you and then roll up our sleeves and get the work done. Okay? I'm not a volume kind of guy. I don't need 1,000 folks. I don't want 1,000 folks because I feel like the message is too complex and it might get lost. That's why I offer it through several different channels. That's why I teach it at the college. I've been doing that for 22 years. Those classes, one is 6 hours long, the others are 3 hours long each. That's why I was over at Radio 1 for 10 years, just trying to get this message that this is a process. This is not easy. And then once we get this information to you, we don't just turn you loose. I am right here. I have on this jacket and this white shirt today. But let me tell you something. I will flip my cap on backwards. I will put on my coding jacket. We would get on the phone and we get to work. If I can save one business, and then that business goes out here and hires somebody and teaches a young person how to do it the right way, then my work has not been in vain. Let's talk about some of the items that's happening in the news. This COVID is still around. 27 million people have suffered from the long-term loss of smell and taste from COVID. Did you all know that was one of the side effects, that you might not ever get your taste and smell back? And that the smell thing, I think I can live without that. You know, man, I'm telling you, sometimes you go into some of these towns. I was in New York a few months ago. I could have done a little absence of smell, but I think I want my taste though. But either one, I think you want both of them. But that's COVID. This is a long-term effect of COVID-19. So don't think that, well, look, I just got COVID, it's over, and I'm going back to work. No, this thing has some long-term repercussions. And they say 5% of the people have had there was a smell and taste dysfunction up to 6-7 months after they thought they were well. That's about 27 million people globally walking around and can't smell you or can't taste the food. And you can't taste that good hot dog on the grill. Man, that alone is enough to make you not want to get COVID. You can't taste peach cobbler. I don't want that. I tell you what I don't want either. I would take COVID over this latest thing, this monkeypox. What the heck is that about? That's a nasty looking disease. My God. Blisters on your face and hands and arms and give me COVID. I'm sorry. I would take my chances with COVID any day over this monkeypox. And I think DC is a hot spot. My point is, folks, let's be careful out here, okay? You don't want COVID. You don't want to lose your smell, your sense of smell or taste. You don't want to be walking around blistered. Exercise caution. Don't go around in places where you're not sure about who the people are, and you still might want to put some of your partying aside just for a minute. You don't have to go to every event. I mean, just kind of exercise caution. This thing is not over. Let's see here. ExxonMobil's enormous profits, really record profits on gas. How would you like to be in an industry where you're making $2,245 a second? 1, 2, 3, like $7,000 right there. That fast. 10 seconds. $22,000. God almighty. Man, I took a wrong turn somewhere. $2,245 a second. And they made a lot of this money, a lot of the profit went up during this Ukraine crisis. I thought we supposed to have been struggling and suffering. These guys, those prices jumped and their profits went right along with it. Something wrong there, ladies and gentlemen. I think when we're struggling and suffering, everybody should contribute, including the oil companies. They're not supposed to be making record profits when the prices are going through the roof. Wrong. Boy, talking about somebody else who's been known to get in our pockets. Well, we're finding out this one of the nation's largest banks illegally opened bank accounts for customers without their knowledge or permission. One of the fifth largest banks in the country, with over $559 billion in assets, access customers' credit reports and open checking and savings accounts in their name with lines of credit without the customer's authorization in order to boost sales. Dirty dogs. Now that's just flat out dirty, underhanded. According to this news article, like Bradley Thomas said, allegedly. But it's right here in the article. Now, the illegal actions harm the customers by hurting their credit scores. So, you go out and start applying for things, get those strikes, those inquiries. You start taking a hit on your credit. And some of them actually charge fees. God almighty, man, come on, banks. What's up? That's wrong. Oh, boy. What kind of world we living in here? What the world is going on? All right. Now, Apple and Amazon, they're making a ton of money right now. This economy is not hurting them at all. Let's see here. TikTok boom. If you're out here trying to make money on TikTok, just letting you know it's not as easy as you think. Now, some people are making money. Right now, TikTok, what they call the creators, where the platform has made you one of their creators, they're not making as much money as some of the other platforms. Like a creator on TikTok is making about $1,700 a month. It's not enough to retire on. Compare it to about $4,000 and some change on YouTube and about the same on Instagram. So if you want to be a creator, a content creator, you're trying to make your mark, TikTok is not up there with the others yet. And I think part of the reason is because it's the platform itself and the audience. And it's so much stuff out there, so much attention-grabbing content that it's hard to compete and to build a community of loyal viewers. So TikTok, if you're putting your faith in TikTok, hanging your hat on TikTok, you might want to rethink that if you are a content creator. Now here's a new trend. Work from home is being forced on some companies are forcing their workers to come back to the office. They're saying, look, you can work 3 days from home, you got to come to the office 2 days, or the other way around. Well, here's a new model. They're forcing some of the folks in the office to work somewhere else. They call it WFA, work from anywhere. That's right. This company, startup company Conductor, they're saying, look, you must spend 1 month somewhere other than in the office. You got to do one in the spring and one in the fall. That's pretty good. And other companies are looking at it, like Amazon, Apple, American Express, and they're requiring remote work from their corporate employees. Kind of like that. It's different. Now companies are cutting too. We had a big hiring surge back when the pandemic was hot. People were hiring up a storm. Well, now that the storm is over, or at least, well, I won't say that. We got monkeypox out there still, and people still losing their sense of smell and taste. So let me take that back. Let me modify that. Now that the storm has somewhat abated, ameliorated, mitigated, companies are cutting back. Here's a few items, organizations that have cut back on staff. Vox Media laid off 39 employees. Shopify laying off 1,000 employees, 10% of its workforce. Clearco, Envision, Whoop, Hydro, 7-Eleven too. Wait a minute. Can't be laying off 7-Eleven. They got that good coffee. You slow again. Well, these are actually corporate employees. Okay, all right, that's different. Ford laying off 8,000 people. Not Ford. Oh man. Woo, man, what's going on here? What is going on? Let's see. I thought people were looking for workers. Let's see. WorkStream, OpenSea, Victoria's Secrets. Loan Depot, Shout Now. And some of these names, no wonder they're laying off people. Lunchbox, Hopin, Rivian. They were supposed to be a electric car maker to rival Tesla. I bought some of their stock. Man, what a mistake. And Rivian, it was another NVIDIA or something. Man, both of them are tanked. Tesla's actually up today. Thank goodness. Let's see, what else? Next Insurance, GameStop. These are other companies that are laying off people right now. So the this pandemic and the after effects and things are still kind of in a flux right now. So govern yourself accordingly. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about some items in our War in the Workplace series. And we're going to find out about a Robinhood, a reverse collection plate. We got ballers in the pulpit and some other items. And the ride share sagas continue. So you don't want to miss this coming segment of War in the Workplace. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we'll be back in one moment. We're going to talk about customer service. You may have had the answer to your marketing challenges right under your nose. All you had to do was click your heels 3 times together, and the answer was right there. And I'm going to tell you, because this is one of my secret sauces of success. You're spending all this money and chasing all these so-called gurus, trying to get them to give you the key to the marketing kingdom. And you're like Dorothy on Wizard of Oz, had those red slippers on your feet all along. I'm just going to tell you how to click those heels together so you can get home. Get home to that marketing success. This is the Marketing Pulpit. Don't go anywhere. Be back in a minute. I'm going to give you some news items to chew on. And if you have an opinion on any of those stories, and you just come on air, and we'll let your opinion be known. And after that, tell me about your company.
It's a collective effort, and because I've seen it from all facets.
I just really want to encourage people to get their things organized and documented.
They're going to learn from something. So it's best that they learn from us.
Welcome back to the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We're here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. Go to marketingpulpit.com to find out more about the show and me and our guests and host and the history of the show. If you're tuning in, just drop a note in the feed and we'll recognize you. Let me know you're there. Also, if you want to join the conversation, go to marketingpulpit.com and click on the button. You can join the conversation, talk about some of these items that are in the news. Let's see what else is going on here. Let's talk about war in the workplace. We talk about stakeholder relationships, and really, business is about stakeholders, about people who have a stake in your success or failure, and that could be your business, your organization, your church, your nonprofit. They all have stakeholders, and they should work in concert, but sometimes they turn on each other, and it seemed to be exacerbated during this pandemic and the lockdown. And people are just acting, for lack of a better term, they're acting a fool. No exception, it was our first story. A bishop in the pulpit up in New York. He and his wife were robbed during a jewelry heist that was live streamed over the internet. Bishop Lamar Whitehead was in the middle of delivering his sermon at his church, Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries, and 3 gunmen came in, and they were armed, and of course they demanded property from the 44-year-old bishop and his wife. And from what I understand, they made off with about $1 million in jewelry. Wait a minute, hold on. Put my glasses here. Hold on. I don't think I read that right. I think it said $1 million. That's 1,000, right? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I say that? Did I see that right? Hey, I better cut back on this. I could have sworn that said $1 million from the preacher in the pulpit. The person who's supposed to be helping the poor and feeding the housing the homeless. And okay, man, I need to step up my game. Seems like something's upside. We an upside down world, and I'm supposed to be the marketing guy. I'm supposed to be out here trying to get your money, and the preacher's supposed to be out here trying to save your money. And we got this thing upside down. I'm just trying to show you how to save money and not spend it on foolishness. And the preacher is doing the exact opposite of what I've been trying to tell people not to do. Man, $1 million in jewelry. Man, you take everything I have on. I've won since I've been on this show. You wouldn't get $1 million or anything close. Wow. Anyway, okay, I'm going to leave that alone. Let's keep moving here. Good old Reverend. Oh boy. I'm sure somebody's going to say, hey, it's his, that's what he does. He's saving, he's helping. I'm sure that people can find a way to defend everything. From a page of With Friends Like This Who Needs Enemies, a Florida mother was killed in an Uber following an argument with her friend over her drinking. Now, according to this story, the friend took umbrage with how much the person was drinking. I guess she thought she drank too much. And so she decided she's going to tell her that all this drinking was not good for her. I guess she figured a shot in the chest was better. I don't see the logic in that. But she did say, you don't want this. That's what she told her friend in the Uber. You don't want me to go into my purse. And I'm sure in hindsight, she would agree. And she took out the handgun and fired a single shot at her friend. And a dash cam inside the Uber caught the entire incident. I told you other thing, folks. These cameras, there's a camera everywhere now. So if you decide to shoot your friend in an Uber, just know you are being recorded. I don't know what's going on in people's minds though when they do this kind of stuff. Well, they were drinking, so a bunch of young people get together, they go out, they get drunk, and they do things that are going to impact them the rest of their lives. Young people, and that's probably not my target audience, but if you know somebody young, don't give up. Just keep telling them. They will hear it eventually. They might not, they're going to tell you they're not. They're going to argue with you. They're going to say you old, fuddy-duddy. But don't stop telling them that this kind of activity is not. You can't go out and get so drunk that you shoot your friend over being drunk. Don't get that drunk, first of all. I understand the young lady that was shot. She was a mother. Now, I'm not telling her she should have been home with her kids, but she should have been home with her kids at 3 o'clock in the morning and not piling into an Uber drunk. And the young lady that did the shooting, I just don't have enough words for her. Why you having a gun in your purse in the first place? Out drinking. All right, Robert, don't get all self-righteous up in here. Who hasn't gotten into an Uber at some point with a gun in their purse and shot their friend after the argument of being drunk? Who among us? Anyway, if it's not bad enough, in the ongoing ride-sharing drama series in Maryland, a man was left on the side of the road by the Lyft driver. They got into an argument. He told him to get out. He got out. Of course, he was promptly run over. Man, I'll tell you, this ride-share experiment, I've been telling you about my misgivings about it. I mean, I need it every now and then. I need a good Uber every now and then. I use the services. But boy, I tell you, they haven't worked out all the bugs as far as I'm concerned. I'm just not sure this thing going to work. Not in this current state, because you're giving the bad guys all the information they need. I mean, how convenient is that? You want to rob somebody? Instead of go finding them, just have them come to you. Oh boy, don't even talk about the unfriendly skies. They've gotten a little more unfriendlier. In Charlotte, the passengers are trapped on the runway for 6 hours with no food. And I understand they didn't really have much air conditioning either. And of course, as a result, many have had mental breakdowns. I guess if you're on a hot airplane for 6 hours, that's going to cause some mental breakdowns, I must say. That's a little more than most folks can take. They wouldn't let them off the plane. Good Jesus Christ. Then not to be outdone in the unfriendly sky contest. In this plane, there was an explosion. And it startled everybody, including the people in the cabin. The pilot was the first off the plane. Following right behind the pilot was the flight attendants. I think one flight attendant stuck around to help the rest of the people, but for the most part, they were left fending for themselves. The pilot said, "I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later. They ain't paying me that kind of money to stick around. I'm not going down with the ship, or the plane for that matter." And just when you thought you were having a bad day and things couldn't get any worse, now this next story is really tragic. It just tell you what society has kind of sunken to. 3 people. This man was hit by a car. It's just really. If you thought you had a bad day, this person was hit by a car. As he's laying on the ground fighting for his life, the people in the car jumped out and mugged him. And if that wasn't bad enough, after these muggers left, another passerby just happened to be walking by, came and flipped the guy over to see if there was anything left. Come on, Bronx, New York. I mean, even for Bronx, that seemed a little over the top. You get hit by a car. Instead of people jumping out to see if you're okay, they're jumping out and mugging you while you're laying on the ground. And then the next person comes along, which you think is really, now this is, you're saying that, well, at least somebody's coming along, because this first crew was a little undesirable. The second person comes along and they're flipping you over, thinking they're going to give you CPR, and they're filling your pocket to see if there's anything left. Come on, people. What the hell is going on here? Who are these people? Who are these people? I used to think all the crazy people were in like a certain income bracket or a certain race or a certain, even Trump supporters. I thought all the crazy folks, you just put them all in one basket and like Hillary Clinton's. I mean, people are crazy in every demographic, it seems. So don't let your guard down just because you're around certain people. I mean, people are crazy in every group. Anyway, let's take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about customer service. I'm going to give you my secret sauces of marketing, one of my pivotal secret sauces of marketing, which is probably is more important, played a bigger role in my success than anything else I can think of. And it's available to you. Doesn't matter what size budget you have, how many staff you have, or what you're selling. So you don't want to miss this segment, and you do want to share it with others. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We're going to be back in a minute, so don't go anywhere. I'm not busy. I'm just in another era. Lock the refrigerator door. Do not let negativity have another bite. Don't feed it. If we know that women are carrying the burden, they should be paid more. They should be given more flexible work hours. I may stop in some period, but as long as folks back the food, got to talk about it. All right, welcome back to the show. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we're here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. We just finished talking about war in the workplace. Some stories I just couldn't even talk about. I had to stop. The last story, I just said, I'm not going to do it. Where a Taco Bell worker poured scalding water on customers after a dispute. Folks, we got to do better than this. Well, I tell you what, though, just be careful when you're out here. I've told you, one reason I give these stories is I know you're not going to be the one scalding people and robbing people who've been hit by cars, or I know that's not you, but what I want you to do also is to take heed and let you know that there are some people out here that are unhinged. And I don't want you to be a victim. Don't let your guards down. Don't be out here arguing with folks in the restaurant. It's not worth it. I'm telling you. It is not worth it. No matter what amount of satisfaction you think you may get by arguing with a teenage minimum wage worker, you're not gaining anything. You're not winning anything. You're just putting yourself at risk. So what? You told him off, right? I told him. I told her. You feel better now? No. Just don't do it. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Move on. Go home. Fry your hot dog on the grill. Oh, boy. The less interaction I'm finding out you have with strangers these days, the better off you are. I hate to make such a blanket statement, but it's true. The less interaction you have with strangers, the better off you are. And when you go to these restaurants, you don't know what you're dealing with. You're getting in these Ubers, fighting, arguing. Not worth it. All right, let's talk about customer service. There's a memorable scene in this classic Wizard of Oz movie where Glinda the Good Witch, I have an oxymoron for you. But anyway, Glinda the Good Witch, she implored Dorothy to click her heels together and she could get what she's been missing all along. She said, Dorothy, look down at your feet. Dorothy had on these bad red ruby slippers. Now she had to kill this witch's bad sister to get the slippers. Man, these movies, there's a lot of murder and misogyny and all kind of craziness going on. Anyway, so Dorothy had to go out and kill somebody. It sounds crazy. But Dorothy had to go out and literally kill somebody to get back to Kansas when she had the gift all along, according to this witch. I guess I'm telling the story right. It's been a long time. I was so shaken by those monkeys flying. I just couldn't focus on much else. But I know many of you all out there too. Those monkeys cause many kids they have nightmares. But anyway, back to the story. The bottom line is that many of us are also so busy chasing this Wizard of Oz that we're not looking at the gifts that we have at our disposal. one gift that's available to everybody. And that is the gift of customer service, good service. Not just regular customer service. I'm talking about that service that make people call you Santa Claus, make you wow people. So I'll say good morning to Gracie. Thank you for tuning in this morning, Gracie, down in North Carolina. Thank you for so much for tuning in. So let's take some of this money and other resources that we're given to these so-called wizards and gurus and rechannel it into our customer service. When I first came to this DC area, and this really was a defining moment in my life. I came to the DC area, and people kept telling me about Nordstrom's. They said, there's this company in town. It's like a Woolworths. We from down south, so we call them Woolworths and Belts. But up here, it was called Nordstrom's and Macy's and what's that place? Woodruff and Lothrop's and places like that. But Nordstrom's. And they said, this place, you can wear your shoes. You can wear a hole in the bottom of the shoes. And you can take them back and exchange them. I'm like, man, what's not to like about that? I mean, it seems a little extreme. Seemed like it'd be fraught with abuse, but it left an impression on me. So I went in there and bought me some shoes. Now I'm wearing these shoes. I'm waiting to wear the hole in the bottom so I could take them back, but I never did. And I think Nordstrom knew that most people are not going to bring those shoes back after wearing them for a few years, but they put it out there. And I said, that's the kind of company I want to be. I'm not going to sell shoes, and I hope folks don't take advantage of it, but that's the kind of company I want to be. I want to strive to be. So when you embrace this phenomenal customer service, you start to look at things differently. You're not arguing with people over pennies. You're not arguing with people over refunds. You're not constantly looking over your shoulder that somebody's going to take advantage of you. Your whole mindset changes. All this time you're trying to argue with the customer to make sure that they don't take advantage of you and that you're right and they're wrong. Man, you're just better off just giving them another one and moving on. You have better things to do, bigger fish to fry. And let me tell you about a thing called goodwill. That's one of your company's most valuable assets. It's not your trucks. It's not your bank account. It's not your inventory. One of your most valuable assets is this thing called goodwill. It's something you acquire over providing years of good service. Why squander that over a few bucks? It goes back to our earlier comments about being penny wise and pound foolish. Branding. Being a cheap penny pitching company is not a good look. I'm telling you folks, this is one of my secret sauces of marketing. Man, let me tell you something. I will give you your money back in a heartbeat. All right, don't take advantage of me now. I'm one of the good guys. I'm not going to argue with you because I got other things to do. I'm not going to be penny wise and pound foolish. I would rather send you on your way than to sit there and spend the rest of the year fooling around with a disgruntled customer. And think about stakeholder relationships. By giving good service, you are nurturing and building one of your most precious stakeholders, and that's your customers and clients. I'm telling you, your customers and clients, that's one of your biggest and most valuable stakeholders. But because of how you handled it, and because of the mindset and the goodwill and brand that you put out there, you start to attract, if anybody here believes in the law of attraction, you start to attract other companies of like minds to be other stakeholders, such as joint venturers, such as partners, such as clients, such as vendors, such as suppliers, such as staff. If they start to see your company and your brand in a positive light, because you don't have a lot of crap out here about you taking folks' money and not giving them the refund that they requested, or it attracts positive influences, and it's going to increase the trajectory of your company. You have to be aware of something called lifetime value. Every customer that comes in the door, and when I say customer, I'm going to say this quickly. I want you to own those customers. I mean, they're like a slave. You're going to put a chain around and walk them down the street. But you have to embark on customer ownership. You want them to be with you forever. That's why I'm not taking new clients. I have enough, because the ones that I have, we have a mutual understanding. I'm not going anywhere. And they say they're not going anywhere because they know they're going to get great service. So I'm not out here spending money constantly bringing in new customers because my attrition rate is low. So think ROI, return on investment. Every customer has a cost. And customer service enhances the return on that investment. If you're not getting recurring sales, you're going to go out of business. If you're getting one-offs, somebody ordering from you one time and then they're going on down the street, I'm just going to sit here and count the days. Matter of fact, the hours. All right, let's give them another week. They'll be out of business because you're not embracing customer service. You have that short-sighted, penny-wise and pound foolish mentality. And I'm going to tell you something else. Let's take it away from the customer service for a minute. Let's talk about you personally. Now, I don't like stress. I don't like fighting people. I don't like stuff hanging in the back of my head. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't enjoy this good old cup of coffee because I got this lingering mad customer out here, and I'm not so much worried about them being mad, but there's something in my spirit that's unsettled when I'm out here fighting somebody over a few pennies. It doesn't make any sense. That's being penny wise and pound foolish. Stress kills. So why get into that when you can just resolve this and move on? I'm telling you, folks, this will change the trajectory of your business tomorrow. Less stress is best. Oh my goodness, man, let me tell you something. People come to me with these little problems. They're trying to get points, score points. I just sit there and listen to them. Okay. Then I turn around and wow them. And they're sitting there with their mouth open and say, God, I can't believe he did that. Who is this guy? I'm not rich. Okay. I mean, I'm not like Bill Gates kind of rich or Oprah kind of rich. I'm rich in other ways. And one of those ways that I'm rich is that I have a spirit that allows me to do things because I believe in reciprocity. I believe that what you give, you get back. And I have never been proven wrong. I mean, it doesn't count. I mean, okay, let's just say the Gatewood. All right, man, look, I ain't got that kind of bank. I need to get my money back. Well, let's put this way. You one of these folks that's hard to convince. I get that, okay? Like, hey, I'm a dollars and cents man. Debits and credits. I's got to be dotted and T's got to be crossed. Well, let's do this. Mark it up. Why don't you add that customer service to your business model and let the customer pay for it? And that's what these high-end, high-value companies do. They give you the service, but you're going to pay for it because they add it to the price. So you can do that. But it can't be the option of to do it or not. Whether you're going to do it out of generosity or if you want to add it to the bottom line, do it. I'm telling you, make that a part of your business today. Let me tell you a little story quickly. Bernie, man. Tell you a story today. Gotta work on my Bernie Mac impression. I used to have it down, man. Get on up in there, get on. Never mind. Let me tell you a story that changed my approach to customer service. In addition to the Nordstrom story, but there was a lady went to a store. She was having a dinner party, and the main course was going to be, she was going to make some type of chicken casserole or something. So she ordered the chicken. It came to the house, and the day she was about to start the cooking, she opened this chicken, and the thing was foul. It smelled up her entire house. And she said, my goodness, I'm glad I did this the day before, because otherwise it would have been a disaster. But I've got this bad chicken on my hand, and my house smells really, really bad. So she called this store and said, look, I'm mad. I need recompense. I need to make this right. I bought a chicken. The chicken is bad. I wasted my money. My house smells horrible. What can you do for me? So the manager was sitting there listening. And he said, I tell you what, ma'am, I am so sorry this happened to you. This is what I'm going to do. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to replace that chicken. Not just this chicken, but I'm going to give you free chicken for the rest of the year. Second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to send out a cleaning company to fumigate your house to make sure that there's not a scent left in that house that reminds you of that foul chicken that you got. And the third thing I'm going to do, and don't forget this part. The third thing I'm going to do, I'm going to call that company that sold you that bad chicken and tell them they need to rotate their inventory more often and not to be selling people bad chicken. That's right. Now that is what you call exceptional customer service. This company went through all of that, and they weren't even the one that sold her the chicken. But guess what? That person had a customer for life, and they told everybody. They probably going to tell this story for 100 years. Something like the Nordstrom story. They probably had one person that came back with wore the shoes out and brought them back. But it's that one story that built that reputation that people are still telling it after all of these years. You need to be that company. Gatewood has decided, my company, I've decided, I'm going to be that type of company. And that's really the kind of reputation we have. Would I sit here and say this over the airways if it wasn't true? Somebody could call into this show or write to this show while we're sitting here. It's Gatewood, you're lying. But I'm not. I have adopted this as my business model. And I'm telling you, if you're in a rut, sales are flat, your company has been in the same place it's been for the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, nothing going on, adopt this. It works. All right, in closing, don't meet expectations. That's a low bar. Exceed them. I want you to wow your customers. Make them say, I can't believe he did that. Make them call you Santa Claus, like somebody called me the other day. This just happened yesterday. They sent me an email. We had a little discussion on the phone about something. I mean, it may have cost her maybe $10 that she didn't want to spend. And I went out and spent probably a couple of $100 to remedy her problem out of my pocket. And she wrote back and said, Santa Claus. I'm going to probably have that customer the rest of my life. Lifetime value. I want you to make your customers afraid for you to leave them. Now, you know you got it going on when you got customers over there scared. They're checking on you because they're afraid you might go somewhere. And I want you to leave them talking about you for years to come. Now, you don't need this marketing wizard of ours to find business success, to find it somewhere over the rainbow. You have the answer right here under your nose. You need to click those symbolic ruby slippers together, click 3 times. It's called customer service. And you have it, and you can do it. Folks, that's going to wrap it up for today. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this morning. Good morning, Mr. Brown, the greatest plumber in town. Thank you for tuning in. Bradley, and Gracie, and Gerald, and everybody else. I see you over there on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. And we'll be back next week right here on the Marketing Pulpit Show, as we are every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Just share this show, folks. I'm telling you, you're going to make a difference in somebody's life if they hear this information. And you can do it. You don't have to be the rich company like Nordstrom's and some of these other places, but you can do this. And we'll be back next week. And as always, as we say as we close every week, what do we say? If you want to be successful, you have to do these 3 things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work. People don't understand marketing. You can't stop every time the money runs out. You need to come on and tell people why your service is different. Why is everybody so angry? Airline passengers biting the TSA agents. I mean, it reminds me of one of those zombie apocalyptic movies. And as a community, collectively, we're going to be taken more seriously if we have that strong economic foundation. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work.